जोड़ी जिम्मेदार जो प्लान करे परिवार।
Hello and welcome to this edition of News on the Hour. Over the next 1 hour, we will be taking a look at all the updates on the top stories of this morning. We will be taking a look at how the Prime Minister will today be launching the historic Ayushman Bharat Digital India mission. Also, the latest update as far as Cyclone Gulab is concerned. Also, news from sports, business, around the world and much more. But first, let's begin with the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to launch nationwide Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission today, a seamless online platform that will enable interoperability within the digital health ecosystem, presently being implemented in pilot phase in 6 union territories. Prime Minister visits construction site of the new Parliament building in New Delhi, spends almost an hour doing a first-hand inspection of the construction status of Central Vista. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage crosses 86 crore landmark milestone. Over 38,18,000 vaccine doses administered in last 24 hours. Health Ministry terms it yet another achievement in fight against COVID-19. Cyclonic storm Gulab over North Andhra Pradesh and adjoining South Odisha weakens into deep depression early morning today. Over North Andhra Pradesh likely to continue to move west-northwestwards and weaken further into depression in next 6 hours. Prime Minister discusses Cyclone Gulab situation with CMs of Andhra, Odisha and assures all possible help. Ministry of Tourism to launch Nidhi 2 and India Tourism Statistics at a glance 2021 in World Tourism Day celebration event today. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla and Union Tourism Minister G. Kishan Reddy to grace the occasion. In international news, Germany's Social Democrats narrowly win national polls as per projected results and claim clear mandate to lead a government for the first time since 2005 to end 16 years of conservative-led rule under Angela Merkel. And in sports, Indo-China pair Sania Mirza Zhang Shui bagged WTA Ostrava Open doubles title. Second-seeded Indo-Chinese duo defeat third-seeded pair of American, Christian and New Zealander Rutleff 6-3, 6-2 in summit clash. In our top story, in News on the Hour, in a historic initiative, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch the Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission today in a short while from now at 11 a.m. via video conferencing. The Prime Minister will also address on the occasion. Union Health Minister will be present. The Prime Minister has said that the mission leverages technology to improve access to healthcare and opens the doors for new innovation in the sector. Prime Minister says today is an important day for the country's healthcare segment and the pilot project of Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission was announced by Prime Minister from the ramparts of Red Fort on the 15th of August 2020. Currently, Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission is being implemented in pilot phase in 6 union territories. The nationwide rollout of Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission coincides with NHA celebrating 3rd anniversary of Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. The key components of Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission include a health ID for every citizen that will also work as their health account, to which personal health records can be linked and viewed with the help of a mobile application. The mission will create interoperability within the digital health ecosystem, similar to the role played by the Unified Payments Interface in revolutionizing payments. Citizens will only be a click away from accessing healthcare facilities. And the Prime Minister yesterday visited the construction site of the new Parliament building. The Prime Minister spent almost an hour at the site and conducted a first-hand inspection of the status of the new Parliament building's construction in New Delhi. He even spoke to people involved in the work. The redevelopment project of Central Vista envisages a new triangular Parliament building, a common central secretariat and revamping of the 3-kilometer-long Rajpath from Rashtrapati Bhavan to India Gate. Take a look at the visuals on PM Modi's visit to the construction site of the new Parliament building.
ये राज्यसभा है, ये लोकसभा है, ये मेरी मेन सदन थी जो नौकरी जो है उनका सिटिंग अरेंजमेंट सारा जो है मौका पे बनाते हैं।
ओरिजिनल राज्यसभा का यहीं
और जो राज्यसभा है
इतना बड़ा पवित्र काम आपके हाथों से हो रहा है भाई। इतना समय हो गया है, गाड़ी समय पे चल रही है आप लोगों की। हाँ। लेवल से कितना?
ये लगभग 7.5 मीटर है।
देखते रहिए क्या क्या कर रहे हो। हाँ, अब काम आएगा।
And let's now give you our regular update on our nationwide COVID-19 vaccination drive. In a landmark achievement, our COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed the 86 crore milestone as of today. As per latest data, over 86 crore 1 lakh vaccine doses have been administered across the country so far. Over 38 lakh 18,000 vaccine doses have been administered in the past 24 hours itself. Further, the recovery of 29,621 patients in the past 24 hours has increased the cumulative tally of recovered patients to 3 crore 29 lakh 31,972. Consequently, India's recovery rate stands at 97.78%. 26,041 new cases have been reported in the past 24 hours. The active caseload is presently 2,99,620, the lowest in 191 days. Active cases account for less than 1% of total cases, which currently stand at 0.89%. The testing capacity across continues to be expanded. We have so far conducted over 56 crore 44 lakh cumulative tests, while testing capacity has been enhanced. Weekly positivity rate stands at 1.94%, which is less than 3% for the past 94 days now. The daily positivity rate is reported to be 2.24%, a rate that continues to be below 3% for the last 28 days now. And India is all set to achieve the 100 crore vaccination mark. To celebrate, the citizen engagement platform of the government, MyGov India, has invited everyone to design an innovative and visually striking logo or mascot. The logo or mascot should represent the theme India's journey of completing 100 crore vaccinations. The last date of the contest is the 10th of October this year. The winner of the selected logo will win a cash prize of 25,000 rupees. And in Madhya Pradesh, the fourth phase of vaccination, Maha Abhiyan, is being organized today. The theme of the campaign is Ab Koi Na Chhoote. Under the campaign, the first dose of the vaccine will be given to those above the age of 18 who have been left out of vaccination so far. In Madhya Pradesh, 4,96,367 beneficiaries have been vaccinated. Including these, so far 6 crore 7,88,981 doses of the vaccine have been given in the state. Meanwhile, 16 new cases of COVID-19 were reported on Sunday, while 19 recovered in the past 24 hours. Union Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting, Dr. L. Murugan, reached Bhopal to take stock of the drive. And Himachal Pradesh schools reopen from today. The state government took the decision to reopen schools during the cabinet meeting on Friday. Schools are reopening for classes 9 to 12 for now. Students from classes 10 and 12 will be allowed to visit schools on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, while those from 9 to 11 will be open on Thursday, Friday and Saturday. Cyclonic storm Gulab, meanwhile, has weakened into a deep depression and has settled over North Andhra Pradesh and adjoining South Odisha. Gulab moved westwards with a speed of 14 kilometers per hour, further weakening into a deep depression in the next 6 hours. IMD has predicted light to moderate rains to be continued in most places of Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. NDRF and central teams continue with road clearing and restoration work. Relief operations are underway. On Sunday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke to Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy and Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik to discuss the cyclone situation. PM Modi assured both the CMs all possible support from the centre. Prime Minister said he has offered prayers for everyone's safety and well-being. In Andhra Pradesh, Srikakulam District Collector Shrikesh Lathkar said that a total of 1,358 people were rehabilitated at 38 centres in the district. The government has set up 61 rehabilitation centres in 13 cyclone-affected coastal mandals. 3 electrical poles were uprooted at Maddiputtuga village of Kanchili Mandal and Harijana Street in Kasibugga, wherein the electrical department swung into action to immediately restore them. A house was damaged at Makkanapuram in Mandasa Mandal. The state disaster response team and police with support from locals cleared the trees that fell on the roads in different parts. The district administration declared a holiday for schools in the cyclone-affected mandals today. In Vizag, the city was soaked following continuous rains under the influence of Cyclone Gulab on Sunday, registering 100 millimeters of the highest rainfall on Sunday night under the influence of the storm. Low-lying areas in several areas like Gnanapuram were submerged. People remain indoors due to the heavy downpour associated with the winds reaching 10 to 15 kilometers per hour. during the landfall period in neighbouring Srikakulam district. Railways had to reschedule 24 trains between Odisha and Andhra Pradesh due to the storm, while long-distance trains were short-terminated from Visakhapatnam and Bhubaneswar. Short-distance trains were cancelled to September 28th. Temporary help desks have been set up at Visakhapatnam, Vizianagaram, Srikakulam Road and Raigad stations to guide passengers regarding the movement of train services and to meet any emergency. And joining us now is our correspondent Tapas from Visakhapatnam. Tapas is on the ground covering this story. Tapas, when we spoke earlier, you mentioned how there has been such heavy rain, the highest 100 millimeters in one night itself. Give us an update on the latest situation. What's the weather like and how far has clearing of the roads been completed?
Right, so Rukma, the rainfall activity has picked up quite considerably. In fact, since yesterday evening till early morning, the rainfall in Visakhapatnam especially has been quite high. In fact, by 8:30 a.m., Visakhapatnam received 282 millimeter of rainfall, which is in itself is a record number that we are talking about. And also, we have been told that the IMD has issued warning, especially to coastal rainfall warning to extreme heavy rainfall warning to Andhra Pradesh, coastal Andhra Pradesh, South Chhattisgarh, Telangana, Vidarbha, and heavy to heavy rainfall at some of the places in South Odisha, along with isolated rainfall in Rayalaseema. So these are some of the places where the extreme heavy rainfall, very heavy to extreme heavy rainfall warning has been issued by the IMD. It has also issued squally wind warning. The IMD has issued that to Visakhapatnam, some of the North Andhra Pradesh areas like Srikakulam, Vizianagaram, Visakhapatnam district and South Odisha district of Raigad, Koratpur and Malkangiri. So these are some of the places where high wind speed has been expected. It's somewhere in the region of 50 to 60, gusting to almost 70 km per hour. So as of now, the cyclonic circulation that is there, the cyclone's nature has turned into a deep depression, and it is expected that in the next few hours it will turn into depression, and then by tonight it is expected to be in the well marked area. But places like Chhattisgarh in Bengal, the coastal areas of Bengal is expected to receive rainfall, quite a heavy rainfall activity in the next 24 hours. So but so far in terms of Visakhapatnam and Andhra Pradesh we are talking about, there is definitely lesser number of less degree of rainfall activity that is going on. Earlier, in fact, till morning 8 o'clock, the rainfall along with the wind speed was quite high, but it has calmed down a bit. In terms of the power outage, from yesterday around 2 o'clock till now, the power outage is there in many parts of Andhra Pradesh, especially in Visakhapatnam. There is no electricity so far. The authorities are working hard to restore the electricity supply. One good thing is that the airport is quite open. There is no problem in landing and taking off from airport. The other part is that I like to mention here is that around 10:30 a.m., another short while from now, the Andhra CM Jagan Mohan Reddy is expected to take stock of the situation and the relief effort, and it will be done through a video conferencing mode. And all the district collector or the DM has been informed, and they will be presenting the situation at ground reality to the CM. And this is the latest so far as we can say. What we can tell you is that the rainfall, which has has come down a bit, is expected to pick up in another hour or so, especially in the Visakhapatnam and near about Srikakulam area. But definitely much better than what it was yesterday evening, especially in the night when the landfall took place. After that, there was a absolute downpour. Very heavy rainfall activity took place. As I mentioned, almost 282 millimeter of rainfall took place only in Visakhapatnam district only.
Well, Tapas, very detailed report there. You've covered almost all the aspects and we're getting quite a clear picture. In fact, we can even hear the strong winds gusting around you. The sea behind you clearly looks to be stormy. Well, many thanks for joining us there and for that update. You keep your eyes on that story and stay safe. Well, moving on now, the Ministry of Tourism will launch Nidhi 2.0, National Integrated Database of Hospitality Industry and India Tourism Statistics at a Glance 2021 today. The launch will take place at an event to celebrate World Tourism Day 2021 in New Delhi. The day has been designated by the UNWTO as a day to focus on tourism for inclusive growth. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla will be chief guest. Union Minister of Tourism, Culture and Donor G. Kishan Reddy, MOS for Tourism Ajay Bhatt and MOS for Tourism Shripad Yeso Naik will also grace the occasion. An MOU will also be signed between the Tourism Ministry, United Nations Environment Programme and the Responsible Tourism Society of India to actively promote and support sustainability initiatives in the tourism sector. India is in unlocking phase and domestic tourism has restarted slowly and steadily. The COVID pandemic has had an immense socio-economic impact worldwide, and a gradual increase in domestic tourism will help for recovery and growth in many folds of society. And here in News on the Hour, it's time for a short break. But there's more up ahead. Stay tuned and keep watching DD India.
Change not just of attitudes, but of mindset. Change from a state of drift to one of purposeful actions. Change to take bold decisions. A mandate in which reform would not be enough unless it transforms our economy and society. A transformation that is embedded in the aspirations and optimism of India's youth and in the boundless energy of its millions. Every day at work, I draw on this sacred energy. Every day at work, my to-do list is guided by the constant drive to reform and transform India for prosperity and security of all Indians.
As the day unfolds and news and events take shape, we get you complete coverage of every news breaking in, tracking new developments as they happen. Midday Prime English, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching News on the Hour here on DD India, and it's time now for our special episode that we bring you every day on the story of the freedom struggle. Today we tell you about Raja Ram Mohan Roy, one of the greatest social reformers of our time, the great scholar who transformed Indian society. It was on this day in 1833 that the hero of the Indian Renaissance breathed his last. We will also remember Vittal Bhai Patel, born on this day in 1873.
This day in the year 1833, great scholar, reformer, patriot, pioneer, visionary of interfaith harmony and the harbinger of the Indian Renaissance, Raja Ram Mohan Roy breathed his last.
Right from his childhood, he rebelled against superstitions and social customs. He wandered around the Himalayas and went to Tibet. He travelled widely, and the experience gave him a broad outlook. He advocated the study of English, science, Western medicine, and technology.
In 1814, Ram Mohan Roy formed the Atmiya Sabha to initiate social and religious reforms in the society. He campaigned for women's rights, including the right for widows to remarry and the right for women to hold property. He also supported education of women.
In 1828, he founded the Brahmo Samaj, which was one of the first socio-religious reform organizations in the country. It was Raja Ram Mohan Roy who fought for the abolition of gruesome practice of sati, or burning of the widow, on the funeral pyre of the husband.
Ram Mohan Roy was given the title of Raja by the Mughal Emperor Akbar Shah II, who sent him to England to represent him. He went to England in 1833.
10 days after arriving in Bristol, Raja Ram Mohan Roy fell ill with meningitis, and the great social reformer breathed his last on 27th of September 1833.
On this day in 1873 was born Vittal Bhai Patel, an acclaimed leader and a humanist. Vittal Bhai Patel was the elder brother of Sardar Vallabh Bhai Patel and a renowned freedom fighter.
Born in Nadiad in Gujarat, Vittal Bhai studied law in London. He became a leading attorney in the courts of Bombay and Ahmedabad.
Vittal Bhai was instrumental in the passing of two bills in the Bombay Provincial Legislative Council, the Bombay District Municipal Act Amendment Bill and the Town Planning Bill in 1914. He was credited with the extension of primary education to municipal districts in the Bombay Presidency outside of the city of Bombay in 1917.
When Mahatma Gandhi called off the non-cooperation movement in 1922, following the Chauri Chaura incident, Patel left the Congress to form the Swaraj Party with Chittaranjan Das and Motilal Nehru.
He was the first elected president of the Central Legislative Assembly in the year 1925 and was re-elected in 1927. He succeeded in his efforts of creating a separate office for the Legislative Assembly, independent of the Government of India in 1928. It was Vittal Bhai who established the Convention of Neutrality of the Speaker of the House in debates.
In his later years, Vittal Bhai travelled in the United States and Europe. Patel's health worsened in Europe and he died in Geneva, Switzerland on 22nd of October 1933.
And some international news now. In Germany, people appeared to be voting for change on Sunday, with a majority of voting districts reporting the Social Democratic Party with a slim lead, hovering around 26%, more than a percentage point, ahead of the Christian Democratic Union, which had just over 24% of the vote. Early exit polls showed an extremely close race between the centre-left Social Democrats, the SPD, and the centre-right Christian Democratic Union, or CDU, in an election that will decide the next chancellor of the country. Germans went to the polls to elect the next parliament, which will appoint Chancellor Angela Merkel's successor. After nearly 16 years in the top job, Merkel decided to step down after the election. Candidates who are in the fray to replace her are Armin Laschet, longtime ally of Merkel and leader of the CDU since January; Olaf Scholz, leader of the left-leaning SPD; and the Greens' Annalena Baerbock. Environmental concerns and economic worries have emerged as key issues in campaigning. In Sudan, tensions in the capital and eastern part of the country have pitted civilian politicians and the military to near breaking point in the wake of last week's attempted coup. Authorities have reported a failed attempt to overthrow the country's transitional government, while officials called on the public to prepare for protests over withdrawal of security details. The deteriorating relations have put the fragile transition to democratic civilian rule in the last 2 years since removal of the former President Omar al-Bashir into peril. While the generals have accused politicians of failing to govern, civilian officials are accusing the military of agitating for a power takeover. The committee's leader of Joint Military-Civilian Council say that they will defend the government and democratic transition to the last drop of blood. However, in a statement on Sunday, Prime Minister Abdullah Hamdok said that the dispute is not between the military and civilians, but those who believe in the civilian democratic transition and want to block the path from both sides. In Tunisia, nearly 2,000 demonstrators rallied in the capital on Sunday to protest against President Kais Saied's recent steps to tighten his grip on power. Several thousand demonstrators rallied in the Tunisian capital to protest against President Kais Saied's seizure of power, calling on him to step down in the biggest show of public anger since his intervention. Saied this week brushed aside much of the 2014 constitution, giving himself power to rule by decree 2 months after he sacked the Prime Minister, suspended Parliament and assumed executive authority. Protesters waving the Tunisian flag gathered outside the Municipal Theatre in Tunis and shouted slogans in defense of the 2014 National Charter. Police maintained a heavy presence around the demonstration and set up barricades. The crisis has endangered the democratic gains that Tunisians won in the 2011 revolution that triggered the Arab Spring protests and has slowed efforts to tackle an urgent threat to public finances. And hundreds of Haitians marched into the capital Port-au-Prince on Sunday to protest against the deportation of Haitian migrants by the US, which has started flying out migrants this week from a Texas border town. The Department of Homeland Security has reported that nearly 30,000 migrants encountered in the border area in the past 2 weeks, with some 2,000 of them expelled to Haiti. Anger has been rising in the United States against the crackdown on migrants, many of whom are arriving at the US border and had previously lived in Brazil and Chile. Others have transited through the South American countries. Meanwhile, the Mexican government said on Sunday that it will resume flights to Port-au-Prince starting next week for Haitian migrants who want to return home. In the Gaza Strip, The first phase of the reconstruction process will soon begin, 4 months after Israel's deadly offensive. The reconstruction plan was set by Gaza's Ministry of Public Works and Housing, the Qatar Committee for Reconstruction of Gaza and other international parties. Gaza's Hamas-run government says Israeli airstrikes destroyed nearly 2,200 homes during the 11-day conflict and damaged 37,000 others. Some homes in Israel were damaged by rockets launched by Islamist organization Hamas and other Gaza militant groups. Nearly 1,800 destroyed homes will be rebuilt in the first phase of work, according to Naji Sarhan, Deputy Minister for Housing and Public Works in Gaza. Last week, Egypt began repairing Gaza's main coastal road, part of a broader plan to revamp the infrastructure. Following a May 21st ceasefire mediated by Egypt, access to reconstruction funds and materials has been a key Hamas demand. Israel limits construction materials entering the territory, saying Hamas uses them to build weapons to wage attacks. Meanwhile, Iceland briefly celebrated electing a female majority parliament on Sunday before a recount produced a result just short of that landmark for gender parity in the North Atlantic island nation. For the first time in Icelandic and European politics, there are now more women lawmakers than men in parliament. According to final election results released on Sunday, some 33 women were voted into the 63-seat parliament. Iceland has become the first European country where women make up more than half of all lawmakers. The only other European country to come close is Sweden, with 47% women lawmakers, according to data from the World Bank. Iceland now joins the short list of countries where women outnumber men in parliament, including Rwanda, Cuba, Nicaragua, Mexico, and the United Arab Emirates. Iceland's ruling coalition retained its majority in Saturday's elections, even as Prime Minister Katrín Jakobsdóttir's party suffered losses. In Ukraine, hundreds took part in a climate march in capital Kyiv to demand more effort from the government to combat climate change. The activists carried banners and flags, while some dressed in costumes of animals in danger due to worsening of the climate situation and humans causing it. Protesters called on authorities to increase funding in the state budget for measures to reduce greenhouse gases, adapt to climate change and other environmental measures. The protest came just weeks before a major United Nations climate summit in Glasgow in Scotland. Meanwhile, a UN climate panel has warned of dangerously increasing global warming in the world, which will further cause climate disruptions for decades to come. And now an update on the La Palma volcano. The Spanish island of La Palma, where the Cubre Vieja volcano has been erupting since the past week. Yesterday, the lava destroyed the village church in Todoku on the Spanish island. Fires caused by the volcano's lava have spread throughout the area. The church narrowly escaped earlier in the week. La Palma's airport reopened yesterday, although all flights were cancelled as the volcano continued to spew lava. People evacuated from 3 more towns after the volcano will not be able to return to their homes to retrieve their belongings because of the evolution of the volcanic emergency. The eruption continues at fluctuating intensity. Yesterday, a significant portion of the western flank of the cone collapsed as it continued to produce violent pulsating lava fountains at fluctuating intensity. During periods, the jets of lava likely surpass 500 meters in height, with individual bombs reaching perhaps up to around 1,000 meters in height. And let's take a look now at COVID-19 updates from around the world. The global case tally has crossed 23 crores, with over 23 crore 26 lakh cases of COVID-19 infections. More than 20 crore 92 lakh people have recovered, while over 47 lakh 61,000 lives have been lost to the virus globally. With this, the United States remains the worst hit. So far, over 4 crore 37 lakh cases have been reported. The death toll in the United States has surpassed 7 lakhs, with more than 7 lakh 6,000 people having lost their lives to the virus. And in sports, Sania Mirza in tennis has won her first title of this season in the women's doubles final of the Ostrava Open. Sania and her Chinese partner Shui Zhang beat the pair of American Caitlin Christian and New Zealander Erin Routliffe. The duo defeated the third-seeded pair 6-3, 6-2 in the summit clash in an hour and 4 minutes. This was Sania's 43rd WTA doubles title. In the Indian Premier League, Royal Challengers Bangalore put their campaign back on track with a rousing 54-run win over the Mumbai Indians in Dubai on Sunday. Harshal Patel's hat-trick capped an all-round performance from RCB after half-centuries from Virat Kohli, and Glenn Maxwell lifted them to 165 for 6 in 20 overs, a score which was much less than what the start promised. From Mumbai's side, openers Rohit Sharma and Quinton de Kock posted 57 runs, while Yuzvendra Chahal and Maxwell struck in succession to reduce Mumbai to 93 for 4, and they never recovered. Harshal Patel killed off the contest with a hat-trick. RCB's first win in the UAE after 2 losses kept them in the 3rd spot in the standings with 12 points, while Mumbai slid to 7th place. Only Sunrisers Hyderabad are below them. And in another match, Ravindra Jadeja won a close match for Chennai Super Kings for the umpteenth time, as his back-end pyrotechnics ensured a 2-wicket win over Kolkata Knight Riders in Abu Dhabi yesterday. Batting first, Kolkata managed to strike 171 runs for the loss of 6 wickets in 20 overs. In pursuit of a challenging 172, CSK were down and out at 142 for 6 before Ravindra Jadeja took the onus on himself. Jadeja hit 2 sixes and 2 boundaries to make it a cakewalk in the final over. The win also meant that CSK remained unbeaten after the IPL resumed and once again were back at the top in the pecking order with 16 points. And Lewis Hamilton won his 100th Formula One race at Sunday's Russian Grand Prix. Hamilton, 36, used his driving and overtaking skills and his strategic thinking in the rain to fight back from 7th place on the first lap to a landmark victory. He is the first driver to reach 100 victories. It was his 5th win of the season and his first since the British Grand Prix in July. Hamilton terms the victory a magical moment. Europe has won the Laver Cup for the 4th consecutive time as Andrei Rublev and Alexander Zverev beat Reilly Opelka and Denis Shapovalov in the doubles to complete a dominant 14-1 victory. Team Europe went into Sunday needing one more victory after winning all 4 matches on Saturday against Team World. It came as Germany's Olympic champion Zverev and Russia's Rublev beat Opelka and Shapovalov 6-2, 6-7, 4-7, 10-3. Europe also won the 2019 Geneva, 2018 Chicago and 2017 Prague editions. The Laver Cup sees 6 of the best European players take on 6 from the rest of the world over 3 days, with 3 singles and a doubles match per day. Each match win is worth 1 point on Friday, 2 points on Saturday and 3 points on Sunday, with the first team to earn 13 points winning the trophy. And giving a leg up to the Himalayan region's tourism and culture, the first edition of the Himalayan Film Festival is currently underway in Ladakh. The 5-day-long festival aims at promoting art, culture, business and employment in the region, while it also encourages aspiring filmmakers to showcase Ladakh and other Himalayan states as attractive destinations for film shootings. With a star-studded beginning, the film festival is hosting a number of film screenings, varying from Bollywood to regional films. Let's take a look at more in this report.
The first ever Himalayan Film Festival kicked off on September 24th in Ladakh. It is in full swing. The 5-day-long film festival is showing various films from Bollywood to regional cinema. It is being organized on the lines of the International Film Festival of India that is held in Goa. Visitors are also enjoying different movies in Himalayan languages. We had a special conversation with director of one such film, Walking with the Wind.
I'm overwhelmed and बहुत इमोशनल हो गया हूँ आज पहली बार कलाकारों के साथ जिनके साथ मैंने फिल्म बनाई थी जिन्होंने फिल्म में काम किया था उन्होंने भी पहली बार फिल्म देखी है और मैं उनके साथ भी फिल्म पहली बार देख रहा हूँ तो मेरे लिए बहुत इमोशनल मोमेंट है ये.
Talking about women empowerment, an 8-minute-long film dedicated to women was screened at the film festival that won everyone's heart. The film is made in the local language here, and the director told that it is inspired from a true story.
I'm proud and I feel, as a Ladakhi, for the first time, film festival is organizing at Leh. It is a big thing and it is a opportunity for us who are making film, and it is a big exposure for us.
Union Minister of State for Education, Rajkumar Ranjan Singh, also attended the festival and encouraged the participants.
I am very much excited to have the chance of visiting this film festival, particularly for the Himalayan. And also this is my first visit in Ladakh. It gives a special attraction, seeing all the topographical landscape and green patches of human settlement by the Ladakhi. And also it is an appropriate step in connection with the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Apart from this, Bollywood films like Three Idiots were also screened on Sunday.
Ranchod Das Chanchar. Namaste Master Ji. अब कहाँ पहुँच गई? गाँव में टीचर बन गई हाँ?
The film, directed by Rajkumar Hirani, has been shot in Ladakh itself, and the residents here feel very proud about it. The film festival has also organized master classes and discussions by famous personalities of cinema, where popular film director Vidhu Vinod Chopra attended on Sunday. Along with this, the film festival will also cater to various palates of the audience with food festival, cultural shows and musical festivals. Jyotika Grover's report from Leh for DT India.
And Union Minister Piyush Goyal will inaugurate the India Pavilion at Expo 2020 Dubai, which begins on the 1st of October. The Indian Pavilion at the Expo is expected to stand out, featuring kinetic facade that is made up of 600 individual colorful blocks. Over 190 countries from across the world are all prepped up to participate in the Expo, which continues till the end of March next year. Here's a report.
With the theme of connecting minds, creating the future, Dubai is all set to host the World Expo 2020 from 1st October 2021 to 31st March 2022. It is a combination of past, present and future, and it brings people together from all over the world and inspires them. More than 190 countries are participating in the World Expo 2020. The Expo 2020, located between the cities of Dubai and Abu Dhabi, expands over massive 1,083 acres. The theme Connecting Minds, Creating the Future has 3 sub-themes: opportunity, mobility and sustainability. Under the sub-theme Opportunity, Indian Pavilion is marvelously displaying the emergence of New India to the world. We will see a glimpse of Mini India in the Indian Pavilion in World Expo 2020. It showcases the beautiful journey of India from yoga to space. All the Indian states are also ready to present their culture, cuisine, dance and other interesting areas. Let's have a look at the preparation in the Indian Pavilion before the start of the mega event. Openness, never-ending business opportunities, unprecedented growth, vibrant culture, ancient treasures, cutting-edge technology awaits you in the Indian Pavilion. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal will inaugurate the pavilion on 1st October. The expo is starting a day before the auspicious occasion of Gandhi Jayanti. Let's hear from our ambassador to UAE that how Indian Pavilion is justifying the theme of the expo.
यंग इंडिया के जो माइंड्स हैं, जैसे हम इनोवेशन पे फोकस करेंगे, स्टार्टअप्स पे, ये क्या क्या तरक्की कर रहे हैं। ऊपर से हम ये भी दिखाएंगे कि हमने स्पेस में डिफरेंट कटिंग एज टेक्नोलॉजीज़ में क्या क्या किया है, इन 75 सालों में हमने क्या अचीव किया है। तो इसको बिल्कुल दिखाएगा। और ये किसको हम दिखाएंगे? जो लोग आके देखेंगे, समझेंगे, इनके माइंड्स को कनेक्ट करके उनको पता लगेगा कि ये हमारी अचीवमेंट्स है, ये हमारे पोटेंशियल है। इंडिया पवेलियन जो है बिल्कुल अपॉर्चुनिटी के बगल में है, और अपॉर्चुनिटी ही अपॉर्चुनिटी है इंडिया में। तो इसी को हम दिखाना चाहेंगे। वो भी दिखाएंगे कि हमारे यहाँ मोबिलिटी कितनी बढ़ गई है, लोग कहाँ से कहाँ पहुँच रहे हैं, और किस रफ्तार से हमारी जो इकोनॉमी है बढ़ती जा रही है।
Indian Pavilion will feature an innovative kinetic facade made up of 600 individual colorful blocks. It is developed as a mosaic of rotating panels which represents an India on the move. In the evening, the facade will turn into a mesmerizing light and sound show. The diversity of Indian culture, heritage and tradition will come alive on the facade and will dazzle the onlooker. Adjoining the imposing pavilion is the plaza, which uses Dholpur stone from Rajasthan and has a spinning wheel chakra mounted on the roof. The Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry will supervise the Indian Pavilion. Let's hear from the FICCI Secretary General Shri Dilip Chenoy about the main attractions of the Indian Pavilion.
मिनी भारत अगर आप देखें तो जो स्टेट्स के फ्लोर में है तो 26 हफ्ते हैं। 26 हफ्ते में हमारा ये है कि 19 से 20 स्टेट्स आएंगे, क्योंकि कई स्टेट्स 2 हफ्ते के लिए हैं, और जो 8 स्टेट्स वो इकट्ठा आ रहे हैं, नॉर्थ ईस्ट के स्टेट्स आ रहे हैं। तो सेकेंड फ्लोर में वो देखेंगे। जो अनेक स्कीम्स है गवर्नमेंट की, मेक इन इंडिया, स्टार्टअप इंडिया, स्टैंड अप इंडिया, स्किल इंडिया, जो है स्वच्छ भारत अभियान वगैरह, सारे के ऊपर एक तरीके से उनका भी इंफॉर्मेशन दिया गया है और काफ़ी इंटरैक्टिव है ये। तो पूरे पवेलियन में हम जो देश में अलग अलग कोने में, अलग अलग सेक्टर्स में जो भी कुछ अपॉर्चुनिटी है, जो ग्रोथ के अवसर हैं, जो ओपननेस है, उसको इस पवेलियन के द्वारा प्रोजेक्ट करने वाले।
Expo Dubai is a tremendous opportunity for India and UAE to cement the already flourishing ties further. Can't wait to see the start of an exciting journey of 6 months of World Expo 2020. In the year of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, Indian Pavilion is showcasing the picture of New India. Fasten your seat belts for the mega event. We'll keep you updated. Keep watching DD India. Namaskar.
And back home, due to the farmer protests, more than 40 farmer organization members today from across the country have announced a Bharat Band. The United Kisan Morcha has said that the Band has been organized from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. Delhi police has tightened security amid the announcement of Bharat Band. Arrangements have been made to ensure it all passes off peacefully. Delhi police has also increased vigil along the border. Massive congestion was seen on roads in Noida and Gurugram. In other news now, in Tamil Nadu, varieties of dolls were displayed by artisans at the Navratri Kolu exhibition in Coimbatore. The annual exhibition cum sale of Kolu dolls opened ahead of Navratri festival at Pumpuhar showroom of the Tamil Nadu Handicrafts Development Corporation at Singarathop in the city. The exhibition features an array of Kolu dolls, both standalones and sets made by artisans from Tiruchi, Thanjavur and Madurai, besides those from West Bengal, Rajasthan, Puducherry, Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka. Beautiful dolls of former Tamil Nadu Chief Ministers Jayalalitha and Karunanidhi are the main attractions. The Kolu doll sets also include famous temples like Rock Fort, Big Temple, Srirangam, Palani and Tiruthani temples, and those depicting various mythological tales. The expo also features traditional dolls and toys such as Kondapalli, Pepe Marsh dolls and dolls made of mud and other materials. And we now go back once again to our top story. As we were telling you, in a historic initiative, Prime Minister Narendra Modi in just a few minutes from now will be launching the Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission by video conferencing. Currently, Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission is already being implemented in a pilot phase in 6 union territories. The nationwide rollout of Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission coincides with NHA celebrating the 3rd anniversary of Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. To tell us more about the scheme, about the